Have you ever imagined a place so completely broken that its leaders don't even talk to citizens anymore? Instead, they address ghosts and sufferers. Well, that's the bizarre satirical world we're diving into today, a place called Asphaltica. And it all kicks off with one of the weirdest political greetings I think you'll ever come across. And boom, right out of the gate, the tone is set. This is not your standard speech, right? By talking to ghosts and sufferers, the author just throws us headfirst into a world that is, fundamentally not working. So what is Asphaltica, really? Well, according to the source material, it's a nation that's basically defined by its own absurdity. It's a place where every single major pillar of society, we're talking everything from the roads you drive on to the news you watch, is in a constant state of, as the text puts it, malfunction. Now, the source argues that this whole societal breakdown is propped up by several of these pillars of malfunction. So let's start with the most literal one, the most physical one, the very ground they're all standing on. The foundation of all the problems in Asphaltica is something the source calls concrete malfunction. And this is so much more than just a few potholes. It's really a metaphor for a society that's physically and, spiritually trapped by its own broken down infrastructure. And the source uses these, hilariously grim names to show you just how far and wide this decay has spread. You're not just stuck in traffic, you're on the infinite delay. You're not flying out of an airport, you're suffering through laxative. Every name is just perfectly crafted to capture that daily grind of frustration and dysfunction. But this rot, it isn't just physical. The source makes it really clear that it's infected the world of information, too. The critique here is super simple and direct. In Asphaltica, the media has completely given up on its main job. The text actually calls it the media hydra, like a three-headed monster that just feeds on division. And each of its heads runs on a different kind of emotional fuel. You've got one that thrives on sorrow, another on pure outrage, and the third on melodrama. And what's the end result? A public that's left totally exhausted, furious, and confused. Anything but actually informed. Okay, so the roads are crumbling, the media's a mess. What about the people in charge? Well, the source pulls zero punches here. It describes the entire political scene as, and I quote, a grotesque parade. And look at how the source uses these really sharp caricatures. It just assigns one single, almost dismissive action to each figure. Slow Joe stumbles. Don the Con blusters. The point isn't about their policies, it's all about their performance. It paints a picture of leaders who are just actors in some kind of bizarre political show. And this brings us to the next big theme, which is, honestly, maybe the most haunting part of this whole thing. The source argues that this malfunction digs deep into the economic soul of the people, creating what it calls a nation of ghosts. Now, at the very heart of this phantom economy is a concept the source calls ghost jobs. And this is way worse than just being unemployed. It's the illusion of opportunity. We're talking fake job listings, scam interviews, all designed just to waste a person's time, their energy, and their spirit. The text doesn't mince words about this at all. This powerful line frames it so starkly. It's arguing this isn't just some economic glitch. No, it's a form of control. It is a tyranny masked as hope. And it just preys on the desperation of people who are just trying to find work. And at the end of the day, this is what it all adds up to. Zero. After all the applications, all the interviews, all the false hope, the economic reality is just nothing. It creates this whole ghost economy. So this leads the source to ask a really intense question. Is this kind of deception, this whole system that pretends to be opportunity while offering absolutely none, is that actually worse than just straightforward, honest-to-God tyranny? It's a question that really makes you stop and think about the psychological damage of false hope. So, when you're facing this complete and total societal malfunction, what's the solution? What can the so-called ghosts of Asphaltica even do? Well, the source doesn't offer some 5-point political plan. It proposes something cultural. The remedy is relentless satire. And to lay this all out, the text does something pretty wild. It takes one of the most famous, most revered speeches in history, and it just completely flips it on its head. This Asphalt Ginsburg Revisited basically becomes a new founding document, a manifesto for mockery. So here's the new game plan. It's a call to arms, but the weapons are wit and ridicule. The first step is to just accept the absurd reality of it all. Then you have to actively choose ridicule instead of despair. And from there, The mission is crystal clear. You lampoon, you name, and you roast every single broken part of the system. And this all leads to the source's absolutely unforgettable conclusion. In a world where the government itself feels like a bad joke, maybe the only real power you have left is to treat it like one. The only way to survive the absurdity is to become a master of it yourself. And that really leaves us with a fascinating question, doesn't it? In a world gone totally absurd, is mockery the last rational form of protest?